I'm trying to. Uh, admit all, you're not there yet.
I'm here. Maybe see where it says select board. Oh, I'm not there. Did I click the wrong one? Let me try it again. Second. Maybe I went in too early and that's why I didn't show up. Do you see me now?
No.
Wait a second. Okay, do you see me now?
Yes. There you are. And you have your name and it says,
It says select board.
Okay.
Turn the audio.
Recording in progress.
oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I was, nope, hold on.
Yep. Hang on. There the reverb. Okay, so there's something going on. Hang on.
I bet it's me. It's gotta be.
Sorry. Okay, did the reverb, for everybody who's on the screen, did the reverb just stop?
It
No.
just stopped.
Yeah.
Thompson.
Yes, it did. It stopped.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
We are in public session. If you want to sit down, you're welcome to.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid meeting.
No. We do hybrid meetings now.
As you can see, to get more.
Becky,
Yeah.
if you have people joining you in town hall, can you please take a list of names?
Yes,
Yeah.
I will do that right now.
Thank you for the reminder, Geneva.
Yeah.
No problem.
So I will call off to order. And we can review the agenda. So that is. First we'll do at 5:30, although we're a couple minutes late, but we'll do public comment at 5:35. We will review several minutes, December 19th, January 2nd, and January 11th. We have the ABCC annual report to review. We have Ron Neck with more on roosters at 5:50. At 6, we have the police department comfort dog discussion, followed by the EV charging superstation talk. The SB to review the GZA updated contract.
I did not receive it yet. No.
Okay, so no GZA.
Tonight, hopefully next.
No GA. Okay. So we'll punt that to the next one. Then our select board response to incoming emails, select board vote on early voting, review open meeting law violation to the select board, accept resignations from the ECAC and Historical Commission, the DLTA review from FERCog Commission, and then town administrator updates. So was there anything else that popped in, Eric or Becky, prior to the meeting within 48 hours? We wanna
Did
talk
we
about
have? No, I think we got it.
Okay. Okay. Give me a paper copy of that. Second.
Thank you. I think that's why I printed.
All right. All right. So we will start with open public comment. If you have a public comment, please use the raise hand feature on the computer. If you're on the phone, we can figure that out as well. Same with you. Okay. All right. I see Leslie and then Mateo. Go ahead, Leslie. You're muted.
Okay now.
Yes, go ahead.
So this is an issue that I've raised before, as Becky and Grace are very familiar with. It's the posting of police logs on the police website. Going back a few years, the full year 2020 police logs were posted on a monthly basis. In 2021, just 5 months, but then in 2022, the full year. And then last year, only 1 month was posted, January of 2023. So there've been no postings for a year. And it seems to me, as part of community policing, the police department website says, wanting to enhance communication and understanding between the community and the local police. It certainly seems to make sense to me that the police logs be posted so people can understand what's going on with the police department and what is going on in the community. I understand that there are issues of confidentiality in terms of naming residents and so forth, but it easily could be addressed by describing the kinds of incidents that are taking place in town, how frequently they're taking place on a basis, so that we have a sense of knowing what's going on with police activity in the community. I don't think it's too much to ask for that. Thanks.
Thank you. Mateo?
Hi, thanks. I just wanted to quickly update the select board about the status of the Historical Commission's Historic Guideboard project. As some of you may have seen today, to what was certainly the amusement of a steady stream of passers-by who paused near the common to cheer us on, a hardy group of 5 volunteers successfully loaded the guideboard onto a truck and wrapped it in protective plastic, and then it was transported safely to the Williamstown Art Conservation Center. While I was in Williamstown, the conservator who will be running the project showed me the lab. She was very informative. It was great. She explained the process that she'll be following. For about the next month or two, it's going to remain sealed in plastic in an anoxic environment to kill any pests that are living in it and allow the wood to dry out and stabilize. And at that point, she'll undertake an initial examination, and that will allow her to provide a more detailed timeline for the work. I just wanted to commend to the select board and give my personal thanks to Daniel Lass, Paul Lyons, Cliff Reed, and Al Werner, all of whom generously gave of their time, engineering, intellect, muscle power, and lumber and power tools to help load the guideboard on the truck this morning. So
Becky's
that's
showing us pictures as you speak.
I look forward to updating you as we get more information from the Conservation Lab. And yes, we did take photos at the lab when it arrived, and I know Becky took some pictures, and some of the other volunteers who were there took pictures as well. So I look forward to sharing those with you and the Historical Commission.
Thank you, Mateo.
Thank you.
Jill?
Yes, can you hear me all right? I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I see on this evening's agenda that there is an item, select board response to policy to incoming emails. And I don't know exactly what that entails, but I'm wondering if it has to do, well, since the Shutesbury community can only ask questions or make comments during the select board meeting, as a matter of select board policy, I understand that no questions or comments are responded to during the meeting.
During public comment, we don't, yeah.
Yes, right, during public comment. Yeah, and we don't get answers to our comments or questions. And thus, we have to send emails with questions. And in my recent experience has been an exasperating experience for both for myself and for the others who I was trying to get what I thought was a very simple question answered. I think a more democratic process then might be to would be a regularly scheduled time where direct questions and comments and answers with the whole community having access on a regular basis. And I think that would cut down on the amount of emails being sent, let's say, for instance, to the select board, because it would cut down on duplicate questions or comments. I think it would be a great thing for democracy in Shutesbury for to have on a regular basis, the ability to ask the select board questions and get answers. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Is there anybody else who has public comment before we move on to reviewing our minutes? Nope. Okay. So we're going on to our minutes. I'm going to bring them to my screen. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from December 19th, 2023?
So moved.
I'll second that. And was there any, I'm just bringing up, give me 1 second. All right, there we go. I just had to bring them up. Any edits or, any edits or adjustments to them?
No.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes from December 19th, 2023?
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Okay, and do I hear a motion for January 2nd, 2024 minutes?
So moved.
I'll second that. Any edits or changes to that?
No.
No, okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes from the 2nd of January?
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. And the final one, do I hear a motion to approve the January 11th, 2024 meeting minutes?
So moved.
So I'll second that. Any edits or adjustments to those minutes?
Yeah, I have one
Okay.
in this, under number 2, the paragraph half number 2, it says, Makepeace O'Neill makes a motion that the select board remove that section. It doesn't refer to a section, it just says that section. It's not clear, that's all, what it's actually.
That was the one where we took out
A
the,
sentence.
yes, it was under the enforcement, which was number 12. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yes, 12,
Enforcement wasn't. So
third one down.
I don't remember what- All I'm gonna say is the minute part.
Yeah.
no, we just need to, what would you like, how, can you recommend how to change it?
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me, Eric.
I don't have it in front of me either,
Okay.
but, it's just to refer to the specific sentence that it was, and do I have that? Of course,
Hang on 1 second.
I think they do.
I can find it. Give me 1 second. I got it. No. Yes, this is what it was. So that was, section 8. Subsection A, paragraph 3, right? That was the one we were
Yeah.
removing, yes.
Yeah.
Did you get that, Geneva?
What was it, the subsection?
No, I have no
Oh.
idea what you're talking about.
We're in the minutes, it was when we removed the sentence from the.
I don't know what minutes you're talking about.
We are on the January 11th. It was number 2 under the discussion of topics, where we were making the motions for amendments to be made on the floor of town meeting. And where it says the select board to remove that section and delete that on town meeting floor, it was section 8, subsection A, paragraph 3.
I still have no idea where you are.
I have it.
Becky
I
has it
can
written
share
down.
with
Yeah,
you, no
Becky has it
problem.
written down.
Subsection 8,
Yeah.
paragraph 3.
Yeah, because then we went on to 5, 12,
Yep.
and then yeah, that's the first. Okay. So we'll put those in there. Okay.
With that change, I'm fine with that.
So all those in favor of approving the minutes from January 11th as amended.
So move.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Dr.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. All right, so we now move on to the ABC annual report review.
I have a copy of it right here.
Becky, did you see my text message?
The,
So there's a mistake on it, Melissa. I don't want you to sign what you have in front of you. It's listed on my report that it's the annual liquor license report for the 22 calendar year, and it should say 23. And then down below it, it says 22 again. I did go and make those changes. I checked with Chief and there were she had no issues at all this year, no violations or anything. Same license, the fee has not changed any, and it's due to the state by February 15th.
Okay, so you'll put one corrected in my box and I'll sign it?
Yeah, I can print it out. I did email it to you, Becky, tonight, or I can print it out tomorrow morning and just shoot you a quick email once it's in your box.
Yeah, and then once it's in the box, just let me know, because I can stop in really early in the morning or tomorrow night I drive by too, so either way.
Okay, will do.
All right. Do I hear a motion to sign the annual the ABCC annual report?
So move.
I'll second that. Any other questions or all those in favor?
Dr.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. All right, we are just a minute early. I see Ron was here. Ron, are you here? Yes, you are. So our next item is Ron has some information for us on roosters.
Hi,
Hi, oh, there you are.
so I'm here.
Hello.
So, okay, so I understand that, from the last meeting, that was a nice gesture that went nowhere, which I was pretty sure it would. That's now 10 times they refused mediation. But there's clearly some confusion about their protection under right to farm. I sent you some documents. The first one is from Chief Burgess about, hang on, I got them trying to get to them. I got so many windows open here.
While you're pulling that up, Ron, can I ask a question? What were you hoping for the select board to do tonight? What were you asking for us to do?
Well, I'm making the point that the interpretation that they're protected by right to farm is not correct. And Chief Burgess was confused about it herself in the first email labeled 1. She writes, the question is not whether I believe anyone. The question is whether this falls under the noise bylaw, meaning that she didn't want to investigate it at that point because it was a farm animal. That does not determine that it's a farm. The second letter from Chief Burgess, she's asking me to send her the mass law pertaining to right to farm, which further conveys that there's some confusion about it. If we go to number 3, the right to farm bylaw of the town, under section 2 definitions, the word farm shall include any parcel or contiguous parcels of land or water bodies used primarily for the purpose of farming and forestry. That's not the case here. And Mass General Law, oopsie, that's not the right one. And number 4, the general laws of Massachusetts pertaining to the zoning of right to farm states whether the primary use of the parcel is commercial agriculture within the very broad definition of agriculture laid down in GL 128. Again, the primary use of the parcel for commercial agriculture, that is not the case. Then number 5, GLC 128A, very last line, etc. All of it is about how it's clearly intended to protect commercial farms, the last section, including preparations for market, delivery to storage, to market, or to carriers for transportation to market. Okay, if we go to number 5, the National Agricultural Law Center, Right to Farm Statutes, Massachusetts, towards the end of the first paragraph. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7, 8 lines from the bottom, that the protections are limited to parcels of 5 acres or more, or to parcels 2 acre or more, etc. Again, they do not meet that standard. So also, I think, let's see, do you have the judge's decision pertaining to the dismissal that they filed for based on right to farm? I was going in sections, and I apologize, Becky, I was flooding you with stuff, but my mind is a little confused. But do you have that, folks?
Is that a, I don't think we have that. I don't know what you're referring to, Ron.
Well, I sent it to you today, and also I sent it in the first meeting. It's the
Sorry.
it's their request to have the case dismissed on the basis of right to farm. You don't have that there? I sent it to you twice.
I'm gonna search through your emails. Did you guys see that coming? I mean,
I mean, I might have, but
did you see it in what I forwarded?
not this.
Because I'm concerned if I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
No,
but
not.
Doesn't mean, there are a lot of letters here.
Sure.
So I certainly could have missed it, but I don't think I did.
Okay, well, let me see if I can find it.
I don't think it's appropriate for us to talk about the legal case or the other party. They're not even here.
Yeah,
It's public record.
I
Here it is. Who should I send it to?
The select board.
there's the select board, yeah.
Okay. Stand by.
May I?
1 second, Kristen.
Hang on a moment.
I mean, Ron, I'm not sure that we can speak to the legal part of this because of that part is in the hands of the court at the moment.
Well,
I
the
think Chris-
decision that this is reference a decision that's already made. It's public record. It's not something that's ongoing.
I mean,
Okay, here
for
it is.
us
There's that.
going or
Okay, you should have them now.
let me refresh, hold on.
Ron, I'm just gonna mention one thing, and,
I'm not sure
think
who's
it's-
talking to me because I can't see you, but
oh, sorry, Ron, I could see you, so I thought you could see me. It's Becky. And no, the one
Okay.
thing that thought you triggered is our zoning bylaw, as you know, says that people have a right to farm all over, anywhere in Shutesbury. It's not limited by number of acres. It's.
it is limited by the state of Massachusetts. I just sent you the document.
But our zoning isn't. That's all I'm saying. Our zoning is not limited.
The town
By the right-
bylaws are subject to mass general law, and even our own bylaw says that it has to be the primary purpose for those protections to be instilled. It has to be the primary purpose. All of this legislation is pertaining to commercial farms. It is not the primary purpose of that property to farm. It doesn't meet the standard even by Shutesbury's order. And they filed a motion to dismiss based on right to farm. You've got that as well. But the judge's order says that that is not allowed, meaning that right to farm is not a protection, which means that the noise ordinance takes precedence. And that's the issue. That protection that's being claimed, and that the select board's position is, I'm giving you four clear examples, including our own law, which says that this does not qualify for those protections. Therefore, and the police investigated this. Why did they investigate it if it's so clear that they're protected? There's many correspondences about it. I have like 20 pages of logs with the Massachusetts State Police that I was sent by Chief Burgess specifically to report that.
Okay, I need to speak.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Permission, Melissa?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, first things first, what you were stating in the beginning of this, Ron O'Mac, is out of context. Outside of many emails going back and forth. I will provide you, Melissa, with all of the emails going back and forth. Ron, you have to decide if I investigated or I didn't investigate, because you keep saying I investigated and then you said I refused to investigate. You're going to have to make your mind up on that. And then the last thing I want to say is, Ron, did the judge make an order? I'm asking Mr. Mack, did the judge make an order?
The judge determined that right to farm was not a protection.
Did he make an order?
Yes, he made an order. It's in the order.
Okay,
he
ordered
If I send the documents and you're not going to look at them, I don't know what's.
Ron, I don't have them in front of me.
I've sent them twice, and I sent them again.
Okay,
today.
So Ron,
it's right there.
I don't have
in the
access to my
file.
email at this very second. It would have been great had I had it when you saw me this afternoon.
Hold on,
I didn't know you were going to be here. I sent.
You were getting things notarized, so you had it. So here's the thing: if the judge does not make an order for us to do something, there's nothing for us to do. Period. The end.
So 4 specific examples that right to farm does not apply. Are you telling me is irrelevant?
I want to see the judge's order, and I may make a phone call to the judge.
Well, I got the judge's order is right here in the meeting. I was asked to send these documents. I sent them, everyone I've referenced, I've sent. So why don't we
He did not order the town to do anything.
Why don't we look at them?
Okay, look, that's Melissa's point. But what I'm saying, Ron, is if the judge did not order us to do anything, you can't interpret the law as you see fit.
I'm not interpreting laws. I'm telling you your own bylaw says it's the primary purpose. Let me ask, is that the primary purpose as far as you know of the property at 34 King Road? It is not there is no commercial aspect involved whatsoever. There's 4 different examples in the law which say they do not qualify, including also that the judge said they do not qualify.
Okay, my phone's acting really weird and I'm having trouble hearing. That's why I'm putting it up to my ear so I don't look, everyone doesn't think I look weird.
Here's the point. If that
wait,
property
stop.
qualified.
Ron, don't speak over.
Okay. We aren't going to be able to solve this here, Ron, because this is partly legal. We don't have town council here. Kristen just said she's going to look into the orders that were done, see if there's an order that the judge has said. But other than that, there's nothing we can do for you tonight to get you to, we can read through this, but there's nothing we can do. We can't change the night.
I understand. I understand I'm sorry.
We can't do anything for you tonight. We've read through the information.
I understand. What I'm trying to establish is that the position that it can't be investigated by the police because of right to farm is erroneous and clearly stated in our own bylaw and in 3 other places. And in addition, it was denied as a defense by the judge. So that's 5.
And also in our town bylaw,
examples.
it states that this can be investigated by the animal control officer and also by a constable and also by a select board member. So Ron, please stop trying to rake me through the coals. We have the emails to
I'm not
prove
trying to
how,
rake you through the
good
coals.
I've
I'm
been
stating
trying
what
to
the law
communicate
is.
with you, and I will look into the order.
We're going to end the conversation because there's nothing we can do to help Ron with this. It's in the hands of the judge and it's in, and we
May
can't
I
change
ask a
the-
question?
Against our town council already said there's nothing that we could do.
Will you show her these 4 examples I've sent, which clearly say that there is something that you can do? It couldn't be more clear. The right to farm means in our
confusing
town
is-
law that the primary purpose, if it's not the primary purpose, they're not protected by right to farm. I don't understand why that's so hard to
That is not the interpretation that was made by our town council, Ron. It's that simple. So the select board is not going to revisit that without, having further information from town council that says it's different.
I wish you
your
would please let
argument
her look
actually
at this and send her those 5 documents, because I don't believe she's vetted it. I don't know, it couldn't be more clear that the state law says it has to apply to 5 acres.
Ron, if it was that clear, it seems your council would have brought that forward sooner. We don't know.
Not
but at
true.
this
I explained exactly why she didn't. Because she was going the other direction of futility, trying to get them to be reasonable. That was our first line, but since that seemed like an option, that's the option that she took, and she didn't want to confuse it. I did say that in the letter I sent.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand it that way, but there again, we have no ability to move forward in this conversation.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on from this and Kristen will let us know what she finds in that judge's, if there's something for us to do with the judge.
Okay,
If there's-
thank you.
yes, the judge. Thank you, Ron. Next topic is the comfort dog. Kristen, where did you run to? Did you run somewhere? So Kristen has brought this proposal to the Shutesbury Selectboard for a comfort dog for our police department as part of community policing, and I'll let her introduce it a little bit more. She has definitely details. She gave us a policy, drafted policy that we will look at. Go ahead, Kristen.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm having trouble with the sound on my phone, that you guys are low in volume. I know it's not your problem, it's mine. Can you hear me okay?
It might be.
We can hear you very well.
Okay, great. I think it's just my phone. So, comfort dog. I have been looking into this for the past 3 years, knowing that other departments throughout the Commonwealth, but specifically in Franklin County, have instilled comfort dogs for their departments. Greenfield has a comfort dog, and Whately has a comfort dog. Belchertown, even though they're not within our county, has a comfort dog. And so this is something that's really kind of gaining a lot of movement and traction, because we're realizing that canines have a very special ability, if you pick the right canine, have a very special ability to calm situations, to bring the temperature down in emotions, to soothe people, to have people just feel better around them. So about 3 years ago, I started thinking about this for our department and how we could integrate that, knowing that we don't get the grants that we wish we could get for mental health up here, co-response, etc. What can we do instead if we're not able to get those grants and get the movement with that? What can we do instead to assist people with potential, that are potentially in crisis, or just having a difficult time, perhaps maybe their house had burned down, which a comfort dog was deployed to just not too recently. And I started researching different breeds of dogs. I actually had Officer Pelletier in mind to be the comfort dog officer, but he got himself involved with a much larger dog. And I found a perfect breed. I found a mini Aussie Doodle. So it's Australian Shepherd and a Doodle. mix, and this particular one happens to be a mini, meaning they're bred to be on the smaller size. I found the people to help me with this out in Pennsylvania, and I decided I fell in love with this kind of dog so quickly that even if it's not a possibility to have a comfort dog, I'm going to train him to do things on the side and be a service dog on the side. So I then started researching the policy. I was able to retain policy from all of Franklin County. It appears that the entire county utilizes the same policy. However, I really drafted mine after the Whately Police Department. I spoke to Chief Savine there, and he's really coached me through this process, making sure that everything's looking right on point, and we're doing the best, not just by the community, but by the canine as well. So I love the idea. I loved the idea so much. I went to the school first, and I started speaking to our wonderful principal, Jackie, and asking some of the staff members their thoughts on this before I even moved forward, because it wouldn't work if we didn't have support in the community. I started talking to other community members, particularly our seniors, and asking them, what would you think if I showed up with a small puppy one day? And I found an overwhelming response of positivity in that direction. So I decided to then move forward to working with the breeder, and I had my mindset on a certain dog that I wanted. And ultimately, when I saw the one that I have currently, I changed my mind completely. And he was just the cutest and with the sweetest demeanor. And so I went to Pennsylvania this past weekend and picked him up. He's chewing on his toys, but I'd like to interrupt his chew time and introduce you to Puppy Charlie. So Puppy Charlie is a mini Aussie Doodle, currently under 3 pounds. Most of the comfort dogs that are in the county and otherwise in Massachusetts tend to be on the larger side. Labs, St. Bernards, larger poodles. And I thought, not everybody really deals well with a larger dog. Sometimes a smaller dog would be better. Charlie is in position to probably be about 10 pounds total. And we'll see, but he will be on the smaller size because he is the smallest out of the litter. They try to call him a runt, and I don't really like that. So he's just the smaller guy. And in the policy, you'll see that it states that who the owner would be. Would it be the town or myself? It would be me. Because I've decided to accrue all the costs concerning comfort dog if you allow this. So veterinary bills, regular checkups, grooming, housing, feeding, all of the necessities for Charlie, I would be taking care of. And the only thing that I ask is if Charlie is appointed and sworn in, that he would be considered an officer, canine officer. I will preface with saying that he is not trained to protect himself. And as you can see how little he is, he's not trained to jump out of the cruiser, and he's not a task dog for bombs or drugs or firearms or anything of that nature. He will purely be trained to just show comfort to people. And so the only other part that I ask is if Charlie happens to be injured on duty, that the town would consider paying reasonable veterinary fees for Charlie in the event that something like that would happen. It's not foreseeable because he won't be active in that way that might make that happen. He's not a missing persons locator or anything of that nature. He truly is just a comfort guy. And I just have to show you again because I'm a little obsessed. This is as big as he is. So does anyone have any questions in regards to this potential project?
Did you have any questions?
No, it's a good idea.
Okay, good.
I'm all for it.
I do see Grace's hand. Grace?
I just wanted to express my strong support for Charlie. for so many reasons. I mean, A, he is the cutest thing you ever did see. My goodness. There are several other important reasons. One, I think we really need a comfort dog at Shutesbury Town Hall. I think that everything Kristen said about the mental health support and all the ways that that is hard for us to get here in Shutesbury because of our limited resources and capacity. A tiny little puppy and a 10-pound dog that is trained to show up and be sweet to people can go a long way in making things a little better when people are in a bad situation. Yesterday, on Monday, was Charlie's first day at Town Hall, and we had a gentleman come in to get trash bags, and he saw Charlie and he absolutely melted. And as I was walking him out to the front door, he turned around and he told me about how he had felt so stressed having to drive all the way up the hill in the snow and do these errands. And he'd walked into Town Hall feeling harried and stressed. And as soon as he saw the puppy, all of those negative emotions just melted away. I'm like, that is exactly what we need this dog to do. I also want to say this would be very meaningful for me personally. When I was in 3rd grade, I started volunteering at the Shutesbury Library, the Spear Memorial Library, after school every day. And I was going through a hard time in my life at that point. So the library was really my support structure. And back then, Judith was the librarian, and she brought her dog Ziggy to the library every day. And between Ziggy and the library were my support structure for a long time in my childhood, and a really important time in my childhood. And Judith passed away recently. And I really feel like bringing a dog back to the top of the hill is a really beautiful way to honor her memory and appreciate and pass on the gifts that she gave to me. And I would also say I have this really clear memory that there was one day a gentleman who had a very deep fear of dogs came into the library. And it was a real problem that Ziggy was there. And even though I was willing to take Ziggy out onto the common while the gentleman was in the library, he's like, just the presence of a dog was too much. And that for me that experience always gave me a hesitation about dogs in public spaces. However, the difference between the Spear Memorial Library currently and Town Hall is we have rooms and doors that can shut. So if anyone feels uncomfortable, like this is a hypoallergenic dogs, no one needs to worry about their allergies. But if anyone was scared of dogs, I, for one, absolutely volunteered to bring the puppy into my office and close the door. But we have rooms, we have options. There are ways we can navigate this. So this is a great option and a great resource for anyone who needs him. And we can totally still accommodate anyone who does not need Charlie. And so I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Grace. Did you have any questions related? All right. You didn't have any questions. I don't have any questions. I did do 2 small edits to what you sent me, Kristen.
Okay.
Changing city to town.
Yes, thank you.
And I changed the dates up top. I think everything else was fine.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I want to reiterate just one point that Charlie is hypoallergenic. He has he has hair, not fur, and no dander. But he also would be patrolling with me at times and visiting the school, I had him meet adults at the school. And he was asked to come back every single day if we can. So it thrills me that we're even talking about this. So I just want to say thank you for hearing me on this.
Becky had a question or a comment.
I just wanted to check in with you, Kristen. Should we do up a simple contract with you just to make sure we have it in writing that if anything happens to him, the town will take care of him?
I don't think that's
If you
required.
find that necessary, I'm fine to do that. If you wanted in writing that I'm going to take on the financial responsibility of regular checkups, totally fine to do that. I have no problem with that. Some towns require, or some comfort dog handlers do require that the town accrue the cost of everything. And I just, he does so much for us at home as well. And I just find that it's gonna work out well. Also, I have a couple of veterinarians that have said they might work pro bono for anything Charlie will need. So we're just finalizing that information. It really goes hand in hand with whether or not he ends up becoming the official comfort dog for Shutesbury and gets sworn in. Then they will take that pro bono work on. And Nancy Long, our dog officer, is boy, it's having a baby around again, by the way. I'm up, I'm down, I'm chasing. Nancy Long is working with me as well to possibly go through her that she works for, and also discussing all the fun aspects of comfort dogging.
Great. Oh, all right, no other questions? Do I hear a motion to accept the comfort dog policy and comfort dog with the police department?
So moved.
Okay. Second, any further questions or discussion? Oh, yes, you can, Becky.
Kristen, how long do you anticipate it will be before Charlie gets appointed as Officer Charlie?
I would like him to be appointed immediately so we can get all the benefits associated with having a comfort dog. That opens us up to grants and things like that. But more importantly, it gets him out and able to go into the school with the children, because that can't happen until he becomes appointed and sworn in, or we have to do permission slips for each room that he wants to go to. So I'm hoping that we could appoint him, and Grace did tell me that she's available next week to swear him in.
On Monday. On Monday, we
well,
should
Miss-
figure out a time. I've told so many people, and multiple people have already said they want to come and watch.
Okay, that's so cute.
So all in favor of accepting the comfort dog policy for the Shrewsbury Police Department?
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. And then do I hear a motion to appoint Officer Charlie to the Shrewsbury Police Department?
So moved.
A second. All those in favor?
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Thank you, Kristen, and everybody.
Thank you so much. And I know he's going to be such a benefit to people, and I plan on updating people regularly on his performance and how his classes and things are going.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a safe night, Devin and Curtis, please.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Charlie.
All right.
Charlie says thank you so much, but he's a little distracted. We have to work on his, skills of multitasking. And I'm afraid he might sleep on the job here and there, but thank you.
You can do that. All right, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the EV charging superstation.
Did you get any questions answered?
No, I thought we were gonna make a list of questions.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
Okay, make a list of questions.
Yeah.
All right, so what kind of, here, I will type them up. Questions, what kind of questions do we have? We wanted to know if there was funds we have to supply earlier or later.
Right,
I may be
what's the
starting with the wrong one.
long-term contract look like? What are the potential expenses for the town, put it that way, over the terms of whatever the contract would be? The one thing I've noticed is that, did you see this email from, I think it's called Titan Energy or something?
I did see the
There's
email.
other firms that do this, and I'm wondering if we should basically do
RFP.
an RFP and just sort of send it out to a whole list of firms and say, hey,
Hey,
here we are. Do you want what do you got for us? I mean, you know, well, obviously, I would say more than that, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know whether that makes sense or not.
Give us the proposal.
I mean, I presume all the towns, all the companies rather, are in a similar position where they're trying to get towns to do it. I would assume, right? I would guess. All the approved vendors that National Grid has or Eversource has must all be looking for. These guys are just the first ones who call us. That's, I guess, what this also boils down to. There's no. That's the only thing they have going for them, is they're the first ones to call us.
And when I went through all my questions, got them answered, there are no costs. And when they charge, if you're up and running, it's the person coming and charging
Right,
that pays the cost.
right.
And for the first 5 years, there are no costs at all. And then I think after that 5 years, there would be a potential, I think it's like a $500 a year charge just to maintain the software.
Right.
But my concern is that I thought what we were the Energy Committee wanted to do was they wanted to be sure that we had a vendor that was also in Amherst and also in local areas, because they
Right.
were concerned that, you know, people wouldn't want to have a second app on their phone from a different vendor, just because they were driving through Shutesbury. So I thought, so we would need to start with those vendors that we know are there and
Right.
see if they, I mean, we could send out a proposal.
I don't think it's a bad idea. Just, I mean, we do have that first one.
Yeah.
Just to see, you know, just to do like we do it with other things, best practices, just to get more than one, right?
Right. I mean, one thing, for example,
There's
just as an
other
example, this company said they'll give us 2 stations. And it seems to me, well, we might want 3. We might want one at the town hall, one at the school, and one at the library, for example. I'm not saying we do. I'm
No,
not
but
making.
right. But if someone gives us 3.
If someone gives us 3 as opposed to 2, well, that's it. That's good. Maybe somebody will. I'm not quite sure how to proceed to do all this, but it just seems to me that, I mean, these people seem perfectly reasonable. I will say that. Very nice, very open to talk about what they would do or wouldn't do. I have nothing against these people at all, except to say that there might be other people too that we should investigate. I don't know. And I guess I also feel like I'd like to know what the Energy Committee feels about it too. I don't really feel like we want to be making this decision in the vacuum, you know what I mean? I would think that to the extent that they want to jump in and talk about it, they should do that somehow. I'm not quite sure how to go about that.
I know we always look towards Amherst, but I wonder if Belchertown has maybe set up. I don't know.
Or asphalt,
Or Apple, yeah.
asphalt orange.
I know Hadley does. I mean, I know Stop and Shop at Hadley has a high-speed charger in there. Well, not Stop and Shop owns it, but it's in that
The
parking
parking
lot.
lot, yeah.
And that's an EV Go. That's the brand that they went.
And I know the Pride store, Route 9 Highway is Tesla. They have the Tesla.
Right, and there are Tesla ones too. And that's, as far as I know, that's the only real difference. That is to say, there's Tesla charging protocol and there's everything else charging protocol.
Apple, everything else, right?
You know, so I'm not quite sure how, I think eventually that will get a little bit more straightened out, but I don't think it is right now. Does it make sense to have a meeting with ECAC about this, put them on an agenda to talk with ECAC? Well, I don't know how to.
That might be an idea. They may
Which
be
we
here.
already did, and which we asked, I mean, we met with them once, we asked them to come back, they did not prepare questions for the, so they've been to 2 meetings already on it. And then I'm not, you know, Gail is here tonight. So we can ask Gail questions, Gail Fleischacker is here. She's on my screen, there she is.
Gail,
Hi, Gail.
what do you think we should do, Gail?
Well, this has not come up as a meeting, but ECAC meets only once a month, so if you're looking for a rapid return, you're gonna have to get it to the agenda for the meeting next week. But we have not had a chance to discuss this among ourselves at the ECAC. Beyond, this is what was that, and let's throw it to the select board and see what they think. That was the initial impetus.
All right,
Well, it actually came to the select board and I sent it on to ECAC.
Right.
Yeah,
And we said, ask these questions.
right. And I guess we're still looking for more questions.
I do like the idea of seeing what other firms are out there just as a basis, and who supplies Amherst and the surrounding areas, right?
well, yeah, it seems to me, it seems to me our due diligence would be to see, these people seem like they're gonna be something totally reasonable, don't get me wrong.
Right,
And
but we want to make sure that
But
that's
it's
the
like, as I suggested, like maybe someone else will say, we'll give you 3 stations, and maybe like these guys will say, well, we'll give you 4 stations. I don't know. It seems to me.
No,
that
I
might-
don't think that will
Yeah,
happen.
I don't know.
I think it was a push to the second one, and it was only because of the new building being built.
Right.
It's easier to add it to new construction than to post-construction.
And it might be that the locals aren't coming to us because they know where Shutesbury is. And they know our size,
Right,
and Livingston is in New York State, and
right,
they know where we are,
right.
but.
Or it depends on, they may be doing this based on how many electrical cars have, because they can pull how many electrical cars are in the area, so that.
Yeah.
That may be driving some of it too.
Yeah.
You had a question, okay, go ahead.
When is the next DCAC meeting? Next week? Do you know, when is it, Gail?
Next week,
I know, but do you know what
What
day
day?
of the week it is?
the 6th,
Tuesday, it's the same time as our meetings.
Tuesday,
Internet.
the 6th, I believe.
Next Tuesday. We don't
Right,
have
they
one.
got off schedule.
Yes.
They've been every.
Go ahead, you had your hand, 2 hand raised.
I just want to say that this was initiated by being presented to the select board. Becky's writing this with a quick, we need a response within. It made it sound like you got to make a decision real quick or it's gone, which was what elicited the first discussion at the select board. And that seems now to have gone away. There's not this quick, you got to.
Might be different terms.
Pardon me?
The terms that I was originally given for 2023 might be different now, and
Yeah.
I need to find out.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back since all the questions started.
So the pressure on for a quick response has been negated?
Well, it's too late now.
Oh, okay.
Well, my
We have
sense-
lots of questions, that's.
My sense is that the answer, at least to some extent, is yes, and that we have since now had another company, Titan Energy, or I believe they're called, who has said they want to do the same thing. So that, we didn't have that before. That's
Yeah.
a new thing. That's a day old or something, I think.
Yeah, it was over the weekend.
Ongoing,
I
okay.
haven't seen-
You didn't see it?
I haven't seen it.
I'll make sure we forward it to you. Okay. So we have more questions.
Okay. And I'll do some research too.
Yeah.
And see what.
Yeah, I mean,
Cat puts
I'm glad to
together. They're
try
gonna
to, I
talk
believe I
about
can
it.
go to that meeting I can go to the meeting next Tuesday.
What is it?
Do we have a meeting? then?
We
I
don't.
have a finance committee meeting. But if they meet at 5:30, I don't know. if it's 6:30.
We couldn't possibly go.
That's the-
Gail, do you meet at 6:30 or 5:30? 5:30, right? I think it's 6:30.
Yeah, I totally know.
5 PM because we have a board member who's on a soccer hockey team at 7, so we meet at 5.
Oh, you meet at
Okay.
5 now? Okay, great. All right.
Okay.
You're welcome to come.
Thank you, Gail.
All right. Can you put that on the agenda, or should I call Michael, or should we call Michael?
Write to Michael, please, and ask for an agenda item.
Do you want to handle that?
Sure.
Okay.
That makes it official.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. So I guess more to come on that. Yes. All right. Maybe we can put an update on our next agenda for that item. Okay. I'm gonna start.
Good, good, good.
All right.
Good night.
Oh, thank you for
Thank you.
coming. Yeah, thank you.
So we're skipping over the GZA update for the dam permitting. And now we're moving on to select board response to incoming policy to incoming emails. Don't actually have an official policy.
Right.
So how we've been handling those that come in, as they come in, they get a canned response. I think Becky shared that, or something. Sometimes it's slightly different. And so that goes to the public. It doesn't go to every person who
Right.
you know, the energy committee sends us something, we wouldn't acknowledge that necessarily.
Right.
So that's just daily business. Anyway, did you have any questions? Let's start there. Do you have any questions?
Well, I guess to me, the question is sometimes, all I see is emails coming in. from
Yes.
People saying, here's a question, as Jill suggested, tonight, for example, here's a question. And I don't know, I never know, like, well, how we answer it.
And well, they get it, I do the acknowledgement. So what I
Right.
do is I do the acknowledgements that say, you know, thank you for your email. We can't respond because of.
Right, I know that, yeah,
Right,
right.
and
makes
so,
sense.
and reason that we, in the past, haven't shared it with select board, because if I put everybody on there, it's about, then we're discussing, it could be seen as an open meeting violation if it says that, like if I respond and CC everybody. Does that make sense?
Well, if somebody asks a question and responds, that it's real easy to get
Slippery
into.
slope.
Of cereal.
And then,
Yeah.
then in the past, we also thought of putting it in the blind CC, but then if there's a open records request, then we also see that there's blind CCs to things, and then there's.
Right.
slippery slope of open. I did have a thought, we could make it an automatic acknowledgement, so that when something comes in, it immediately is responded and no one has to worry about doing it. And that probably wouldn't violate open meeting law, because it's set to automatic.
Yeah, my main concern was just to make sure that it was happening, which I didn't even know was happening.
It was acknowledged, it wasn't answered questions, just acknowledged.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I know that, I'm not
Mike
absolutely.
Minsky
I hope
actually
you feel
started
better knowing it was.
Yeah, no, sure.
Mike Minsky actually, that was his idea, I think, wasn't it his idea?
Yeah.
Just the acknowledgement.
Right,
But I think we do need to think about answering, how do we answer emails? Like when they do ask questions. I
yeah.
think is also what you're trying to get at, right? What we're trying to.
Well,
do.
yeah, as much as anything else, I mean, I understand that the items have to be discussed in open meeting, and that's fine, I get that part of it. I just want to make sure that people are getting a response, because I think sometimes if people feel like they're not getting a response, and in fact, they can't get a response because we can't legally
So they
write
get
them.
our acknowledgement, right? So that's okay. Why don't we think about this, and Rita's not here to jump in, but why don't we have a little section of our meeting each time to answer any questions that came in that week if we can, right? Or at least discuss an answer to, and then one of us can fire off the answer to the person. Does that make sense?
But we're only trying
We
to-
can't discuss them unless we're
We
in
can't
public,
discuss it
right?
unless we're in public.
So, right, so we can't answer them
We
either.
can't
'Cause
answer
We
them
can't answer
without-
on behalf of someone.
Without getting on the agenda that,
So maybe we have a section where we have, email questions and we can discuss. it.
But I don't think it's whether you have a section or not a section, it's a number that
But we may want to
some
discuss the
people,
answer.
sometimes people write questions that open up either personnel issues. I
Right.
mean, people get into a lot of messy stuff sometimes in their questions, and it's really not possible to answer in open session.
Right.
Not
Well,
very
no,
often,
right,
but
so-
sometimes they do.
I'm talking more general. I think you'll be able to cue in.
But what can you give me an example of a question? Like, how about tonight? We could say, posting the police logs, we can talk to, I can talk to Kristen about, is there, how to make it easier so it's, doesn't get bogged down. I think it's I think the issue was there was somebody that was helping that no longer was in place, and with all the changes. we
Yes,
had
that's
this
actually,
year.
so that's a good example. So if we got a question of why we're not seeing this on the logs on the,
For
and it was an
example,
email rather than it asked in a personal public comment, you know, we might have a little discussion about it and say, hey, Becky, can you follow up with this one? I don't.
or maybe
you know.
it's, but see, that's, because you're gonna get yourself in the spot where the person with the answers isn't gonna be there.
Right.
So it's like, how do we get that? Maybe if we can figure out how to get answers to things that can be simply answered. And then, and bring them up at select board. I think it's, because there's not all emails, questions
Yeah, we
that
can't
you
do
get,
personnel
and
issues.
you, yeah, because unfortunately, some of the emails tend to be things that are not.
Right. And somebody has to make a decision of whether that is one of those things, or,
Right.
you know, it's tough with the
It's
old meeting
tough,
law, it's
yeah,
very
it is.
tough to do it, so. My main concern personally was just what are people at least knowing we're here to let.
Yes,
And
they
that
do
is-
get their
That is,
acknowledgement.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So what
that's good.
Becky had sent, that they are getting the acknowledgement.
Right,
Hey, we've got your email. but
And
we
the
can't
other
talk about it.
thought I had too, Eric, is whether you would feel more comfortable if you were doing the responses, then you know for sure.
I
But
don't
I
see,
didn't-
I don't see any problem with CCing the select board, just having one of those little notices, that says, do not reply to
Well,
this
I
email.
we can also make it automatic, like they can be
Oh,
automatic. I don't
automatic.
have to physically do it, like I've been doing it. But we can set it up so when one comes into the select board, it will just say, thank you for your email. It's basically what the message that we've been sending will
Right,
go to them.
yeah,
It'll be automatic. And then, I mean, we can have that go to the select board.
yeah, that'd be great.
If it comes from the select board, it's in the select board sent to,
But,
so it's there for,
but just
Yeah.
be sure that you don't,
Yeah, right.
nobody responds to it
we could even say, don't reply, like, just don't
Yeah, you
reply.
just put it right up, sometimes there are those.
on the top.
Okay,
on
I'll work
those
to get
emails.
the automatic
Okay, yeah, that'd
ones
be great. I
set up. So
think
then,
That would be great.
and then we'll have to figure out how we can handle to answer some of them in a way that's not violating open meeting law. And then
That's a tougher question.
it's a hard question.
It is a hard
you know,
question. I mean, open meeting law is great. but
Because
it's
I can
very
easily
hard.
answer all of them, but I'm then answering them for me and then you guys,
I
you
know,
know, like,
I know.
and then that's a violation too, because then I'm assuming you agree with me.
Gail, there's a couple.
I'm sorry, yeah, I
questions
saw
like
your
that.
hand, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would very much appreciate getting an automatic reply even, just to know that my answer was received and is not just out there floating in the ether somewhere.
We can set it up
And
to
I
be
have
automatic.
two types of emails that I send to the select board. One is information that I think you'd be interested in having. And another is a request for an agenda item where I really would want an answer. So a request basically for a discussion at the select board. I would bring up a point that I would want discussed at the select board and request an answer. Those are,
Usually one of us do forward that to Becky, saying, hey, can you put this on the agenda?
excuse me, yeah, right. But I would
Yeah.
like a response to know that that's been received. and It's not just out there in the ether someplace.
Okay. I'll reply.
Thank you.
Okay, I can set that up.
Leslie.
Thank you. I'm incredibly interested in the topic and the conversation, but the acoustics in the town hall and your discussion, I could understand maybe 50% of it at most.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on, let me adjust. Let me adjust the speaker, 1 second. It may be picking up the fan behind us. Give me 1 second, Leslie. Did that improve at all? Leslie, does that improve at all? Can you hear us better?
It improves because I think you're speaking directly into, but when you
I'm
are
sorry.
talking-
I
when
was
you and
facing,
Eric,
here, so that's my fault, yeah.
when you and Eric, are talking amongst yourselves and Becky, that's when it goes down to 50% understanding.
Okay, it also may be because we're all sitting with computers in front of us, so it's also blocking the speaker. Yeah, so we'll try to make sure we put our computers down at well, this one will go.
Yeah, that might be true.
It might be true. We'll also maybe play with the height of our owl a little bit. I put her up. Oh, and yeah, we can do that after. We'll figure that out. Sorry about that, Leslie. Okay, so I'll make the auto reply and I can get that going. And when there's an agenda item, Gail had a good suggestion that we do, maybe do an agenda one. Okay. That works. We'll start there and then see what happens. And then maybe think about, our homework would be think about ways to incorporate how to answer some of them that come directly to the vendor. Okay,
Yeah, that's a tough
yeah,
one.
that is a tough one. All right, so the next thing on our agenda is,
Wait.
oh, go ahead.
I would just like to appreciate the difficulty that you're in as a select board. You're 3 members. So you cannot talk among yourselves. You cannot discuss. Even if we suggest a question, you cannot discuss by all the rules that pertain. So, you're in a tough place. I appreciate that. And, but that also makes it tough for us as participants in town to be able to phrase questions that that are possible for you to answer. You see what I'm getting at? There's a bind on both of us.
And it may be that whether we have to delegate it a little bit to either Geneva or Becky to help us with that because of that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like navigate it a little bit better in that realm.
So it's just to give you I'm not just carping out here. I understand that you're in a tough place about answering questions.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, but you had a good suggestion though, when there's agenda items, make sure that whoever's asked for it knows that we've received it in an agenda way, not just an automatic response. Like,
Thank you.
thank you, Gail. Leslie?
Just quick suggestion. I appreciate that this item is on the agenda. And I think it's a very important issue to lots of folks in town. And that you keep this discussion open in terms of trying to figure out how you can make this work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we can move on to select board vote on early voting.
We have to do a very particular vote. Grace, are you still here?
I am still here.
I'm
Okay.
so.
Do you want me to explain this?
Yes,
Okay. So,
well informed, but you do it better.
we need to vote. The select board needs to vote to set the mandatory minimum hours for early voting for the March 5th primary at 25% of my usual business hours. State law says that because we are a town with less than 5,000 registered voters, the select board can vote to set the minimum amount of early voting hours at 25% of the town clerk's usual business hours. Otherwise, if you don't take this vote, it will be 100% of my usual business hours. I plan to offer early voting for the March 5th primary at 2 hours a day during weekdays and 4 hours on Saturdays. That's a little over 25% of my usual business hours, but I have found through experimentation that less than 2 hours doesn't work for pretty much anybody. And 2 hours is just a little bit more than we actually need, but you know what? It's enough time for people to actually get there. So that's what we do. But if the select board doesn't take this vote, then we will need to offer early voting hours for 25 hours a week, which would be very expensive and incredibly more than we need.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Eric? 'Cause I think I understand what she just said.
Yeah, I'm a little late on it, to be honest. It's been-
You guys
Per
need to
hour.
vote. Yeah, you need to vote to set 25 hours for early voting hours for the March 5th primary. Otherwise, life will be ridiculous for everybody.
Okay,
So Grace, is the vote, I move the select board vote to approve mandatory minimum hours at 25% of the town clerk's regular business hours
For the March 5th primary.
for
for the March 5th
primary.
primary.
All right,
And I'm going to be at a town clerk conference tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, and I hope to track down a state level lawyer who can definitively answer the question as to whether or not we can make this a one-time meeting or if we have to do this for every single election this year.
oh,
Oh, you mean the vote?
Yeah, so I would propose, this is what we did at the Board of Registrars meeting the other day, because I still haven't gotten a clear answer on this. And there might not be a clear answer on this, but I'm hoping to get one. I propose that we vote it two ways. One where we specify this is for the March 5th primary, and one where we specify for all elections in 2024.
all right. So we'll take 2 votes.
Just in case, I
Okay.
haven't gotten a clear answer, and it might very well be that the law requires us to do this meeting and this vote for every single election. But if we can do it just once, that would
I
be
understand.
awesome.
And we can make it part of our annual thing too, to do
Yeah.
it at the beginning of the year for you. Okay, so Becky said to the, I move the select board vote to approve mandatory minimum hours at 25% of the town clerk's regular business hours for the March 5th, 2024 primary. You moved it. I will second it. Any further questions? No? Okay. All those in favor?
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. And then vote B is to move, I move to the select board vote to approve mandatory minimum hours at 25% of the town clerk's regular business hours for all elections in 2024.
Second, you're moving.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
All right, so any further questions on that one? Okay, all those in favor?
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. I think you're covered, Grace. We can always unvote the last one if we need to.
Yep. And I don't think
Okay.
we will need to. If that doesn't work, then that's just a nothing vote.
Okay, it's a practice vote. All right,
All right.
Thank you. great. And good luck with all of that. Planning and executing.
Thank you.
Okay. The review of the open meeting law violation to the select board. So the select board received an open meeting violation or open meeting complaint for our select board meeting on hold on, it's got to load. I think I know what I just done for the doing. Oh, no, that's not, okay. Oops. No, I got it. So we received a open meeting violation notice complaint form for our meeting on the 2nd, 2024, January 2nd, 2024. And the alleged violation is that on the 2nd, the select board meeting did not put the name of the assistant town clerk on our meeting agenda prior to the meeting. And so we haven't had a practice of putting names on our agendas when we go to appoint an official. And we don't believe that it's a open meeting violation because that's our standard practice, but also in the open meeting law, it does state that the agenda is to be a list of topics covered, does not inform us of what detail needs to be there. And we did just that. We gave the list of topics for our meeting. So I don't believe we have an open meeting violation here. You do have to, do you have any questions there or anything?
No, I didn't think we did that one either.
So we have to write a letter in response to the violation
Within 10
within
days.
10 days. So, Becky, you'll help us draft that with those points. And then 3 sign, 2 sign, 1 sign,
Two.
2 sign,
Need to.
okay. All right. Was there anything else that we needed to cover with that? We received it. We don't believe it.
When should we sign it? When? We have to have it done by a certain
Down
time.
by Thursday.
Okay.
We'll have it ready to sign on Thursday.
Can you
Okay.
email it? I just want,
Yeah.
can you email it to us just?
On
so we can-
Wednesday.
Okay, no, that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for us to take a look at it before we signed it.
Okay.
Make sure that. Okay, all right, perfect.
Sounds like a
Check that.
plan.
Perfect. And now we have to accept the resignation. So do I hear, a motion to accept the resignation from Miriam DeFont from the Energy Committee? What does the acronym stand for?
And
Climate action.
Thank you. Energy Committee and Climate Action.
Energy Climate Action Committee.
Right.
Yes, that.
My end of climate action.
All right.
I always have to think about it myself. It's great an acronym, just say ECAC.
Yeah, well,
I don't-
it's
sometimes
virtually,
I
you know,
stop
but,
and think,
yeah.
"What's that ECAC?"
So do I hear a motion for that?
So move.
Okay, I will second that. All those in favor,
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. And then we have to accept the resignation from, do I hear a motion to accept the resignation of Miriam DeFont from the Historical Commission?
So move.
Second that. And I just want to thank her for her work on both of those committees and all the time that she put in for town.
I agree with that.
All those in favor?
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Okay. And now on to DLTA review for FERCog submission. And then I have this one. I have the request.
No, this is- And that's all right. Sorry.
Did you have a
No,
thought?
no.
So this is for, you know, Becky, you could do this much more eloquently than I am, but I'm gonna try. This is for local technical assistance. In various things such as climate change and economic development and municipal and regional capacities and such. So it helps us, for those that are listening, it helps put us on a list of things that we might choose from here to be grants and part of studies and such, correct, Becky?
Yep.
Okay.
They help in a number of projects and also with the different grant opportunities. They helped me a year ago on the Green Communities grant. It was a real boon, and I think that's looking over everything. I think I would like to ask for help for the end of the year. I would like to ask for help on Green Communities this coming summer as well. So if we could,
And it has good news on the form. They have us in waiting list for cohort assessments.
Right.
yes.
I noticed that.
Great.
So this is where we give Becky a couple of ideas and
And they also noted the work that Penny Jakes is doing on pollinators.
yeah, I already said work in progress here, or completed or underway.
The other one that struck me is that one, roadway speed study. I mean, that's kind of like we're talking about doing.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, so
Yeah.
if they want to do it, help us do it and fund it and so forth. That's great.
Gail, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, all right. Becky, are you asking for suggestions for, sorry about that, for Green Communities grant applications?
The DLTA also helps us with different grants. And so I'm suggesting that we include on this DLTA a submission to FERCog that we would appreciate help with Green Communities grant again.
Right, so if we were to submit, if ECOG were to submit a grant application for energy, for instance, solar stuff, it would require our showing that the energy audit project has been completed. And then we could go to FERCog to help us write a grant for application of solar addition to meet a certain target. Is that what you're
Okay.
asking for?
No. Would you like to ask for help with solar grant?
I guess that's what I'm asking you, if we are able to do that through this.
Well,
Ah,
see, they have
yeah,
a
they
list
list a whole
of,
bunch of,
we're reviewing a list and solar is not on this list.
I think this is slightly different.
This is
Okay.
more
This is definitely.
geared to,
Okay,
community.
when you mentioned green communities and FERCog, that's my connection. Okay,
I think Becky was giving an example of how some of this has been used in the past, right?
yeah, but I was requesting to put them down for Green Communities, finish up the last work that has to be done. And they also, which we haven't taken them up on before, they also help with MVP grants.
Hmm.
And given our track record, even
Maybe we
with
should-
Michael's assistance,
Maybe we should bring them in for help.
yeah, I think it'd be helpful.
I do agree with Eric with the, I keep going past with the speeding,
I wrote down the
Okay.
roadway speed study,
and then the MPV,
MVP.
thank you.
We have to pick three things, so
Three.
right, is that how they
Yeah.
do it? That's what we're
Yeah.
looking for.
We
Well-
already do the region, this one, the municipal regional wage classification. Our personnel board does really good with that stuff.
Okay,
We've got George. In his spreadsheet.
so does that give us three things or no? No,
No,
We need one more.
what about the wellhead thing, Becky? Is that? For the PFAS stuff,
It might.
about wellhead protection thing?
there is, they do something with zoning bylaws and city ordinance development.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know. Is there money associated with that? Like, would they? Yeah, I don't know how they, I don't know exactly what they're.
It doesn't go into. a
I think
wellhead.
it's like when you want to revise or amend or update, typically update your zoning bylaw or something, but I don't think that's where planning board is right now. I think
Yeah,
they're-
right, okay.
They don't give a lot of specific information, like the wellhead thing, but I mean, it's very big.
Yeah.
It may not fit.
Yeah. And you said that you said they're helping on the pollinator habitat plan, right? Did you say that?
Yeah, we're already involved in it already.
Yeah, and he's already on the committee.
Cool, great.
Like down here, the rural policy plan implementation, advocate for projects, programs, policies that benefit Franklin County. So people have been lobbying for chapter 90 stuff, but it might be good to have, you know, support in actively, I don't know what is this asking us?
That particular one?
They're just asking if we want them to lobby for us. Or are they suggesting that? Yeah,
Well, it says to advocate for a municipal building authority.
Yeah.
Um,
as one example.
yeah.
I think we should just say yes, so they spend their energy advocating for us. Because we need more chapter 90 funds, that's paying off, the pilot formula, if that ever changes, that will benefit us.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we should
Maybe that's a
check
good
that one. Say, yes, we want you to advocate for us, it's important.
So can we only pick 3 of these, or do we have to pick, or can we pick more than 3?
They asked for three.
But they asked for 3 selections and then they asked for 3 projects. And the MVP is more of a project.
So that would be a project. With the culvert, well, they got us on the culvert thing, so we don't have to think about that. Would have protection be a project or overall?
So I think we check,
For the speedway,
we could check the pollinator habitat because we're already working.
Yeah, right.
yeah. That'd be a project.
Or, well, I'm just gonna check it off because they want us to check 3 of these
Oh,
things.
okay.
Well, if we check roadway speed studies
Mhm.
and the wage thing and the pollinator things.
I don't think we need the wage thing.
Wage, our personnel board does really well with.
Oh, you're
assessing
saying we
that.
don't need
We-
that?
I
Okay.
know.
Oh, I'm
I know.
sorry. I thought you said we
I'm
do.
sorry, no, we have a personnel board that really,
Okay, great. Perfect.
every year assesses it really great, I think we've done it every year.
Well, we gotta finish up.
No, we
Still
look at the
haven't finished.
wages, we look at the wages.
Oh, yeah. But the whole classification schedule, we got that.
Three projects. I know, this IT thing is kind of interesting, IT training and development, policy development.
Oh, I went to a workshop at the MMA on artificial
I
intelligence.
don't know that we need artificial intelligence.
Let's check it out.
IT would be helpful.
Yeah, right.
Don't know that we need necessarily artificial intelligence.
Grace is doing a lot of work on cybersecurity.
Right.
Let's check this one off because.
Yeah, you know, it wouldn't be bad to have some cybersecurity training.
She's part of the task force and she's been doing a bunch of good work.
How many does that make?
So we've got IT. And what was it, and pollinators,
Pollinator and the speed thing. Roadway speed study. That's 3.
That's 3, yeah.
yeah,
And you had the MVP was more of a project, you said, so that's
Yeah.
one of our projects.
and what's, do we have other projects? Can I put in the green communities?
That's a project. So we just need one more project.
The culvert at Dudleyville,
So there's 3 projects,
Yeah,
and then there's 3
okay.
generals, or whatever you want to call them. Okay.
Perfect.
thank you guys.
You're welcome. All right. Do we need to make that vote? Or,
If you want,
yeah,
vote to approve them, sure.
yeah, well, do I hear a motion to approve the choices of, the speedway sign? The, listen to me,
Roadways.
the first 3.
Sorry,
Road-
right from the
It's okay.
bottom. Come on,
The pollinator.
The pollinator
advocating
application,
for rural policy
okay,
and IT training
IT
and policy development.
okay.
Can you
Um,
go over that again for me, please?
Yes.
So it's the road speed. The pollinator habitat plan. The IT training and policy development. For the speedway. Road speed study, roadway speed study. And that's it, right? Those are.
I also checked rural policy plan implementation. Check that earlier.
Okay. Did you get those 4, Neva?
Yes.
Perfect, all right. And then the projects were the MVP and the culvert assessment on Dudleyville
And green community.
and green communities. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead, Gail, before you vote, go ahead on it.
I'm wondering if the IT might include a regional group rather than just the town. But there might be coordination with other rural towns that would need part-time IT, not full-time.
Well, this does look, it does say something about municipal policy, so that could be something that could be, you know. as we
Addressed.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all those in favor of the DLTA choice,
Stalker eye.
make peace and meal act. And now, we have one more thing. Becky gave this to me, it is the FERCog Collective Purchasing Program, and it's for construction service bids. So it looks like Steve Sullivan is asking for us to approve him to go after construction services.
FERCog, this is an annual,
Yeah, general. It's a general.
a general bid, put out by FERCog, just as they do the fuel bids every year. And this is, a highway materials list, so it's much larger than the list I use, than the fuel choices.
What it does is, for those who can't see, it breaks down what a fee for a FERCog member who chooses to join this and the non-FERCog, if there's a fee difference in that, so.
So we pay the lesser amount. And so what we're bringing forward tonight is a request that the select board vote to have the new highway superintendent designated to vote, to sign for this bid.
Okay. Okay.
So it's giving him permission. to-
Right.
Yeah.
sign
And
for bids.
Tim Hunting did it for years as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Do I hear a motion to approve the FERCog permission authorization form for Steve for construction service?
So moved.
Okay, I'll second that. All those in favor?
Stalker eye.
Make peace and meal on. Okay, now Becky is town administrator.
Okay,
Oh, we all get a second.
on the town administrator update, so we have very exciting news that our elevator passed its re-inspection. So although it's been up and running the whole time, the reason we had to get re-inspected is when the fire alarm went off, the vent in the elevator failed to open when first inspected. So we had to have the alarm company come back and reconfigure the wiring, and now the vent does open. So everyone is safe in the elevator. Yay. We
No
have,
mice, no rats, no wires. Cool. What's the date, by the way? Oh, it's not
the
Thursday.
30th. That was the most eventful thing of the week. Outside of the town meeting,
PFAS, all that stuff, no, nothing going on. PFAS.
we had 3 new homes added, but I reported on that.
Yeah,
They are still waiting for their filters to be installed, but have been provided water and come to town hall to get more water as they will. Get them, but I gotta check on John and make sure he gets out here soon. We did get test results back for a number of people in town. And that's how we learned that we had the new requirements. That's the numbers changing. The federal guidelines are shrinking to a limit of 4 instead of 20 on 2 particular PFAS, the PFOS and the PFOA. And so if any of our mixed group, when they get tested, hits a 4 or more, we have to put in a filter, even if it's, you know, nothing over 20. So that's the reason we have the additional clients. We had just done testing on the gasoline again. We expect to get results back any day. And I'll report on that at the next meeting. So we're getting closer to solving, figuring out the gasoline situation. But PFAS continues to be a major problem. Capital planning has been meeting and they have a number of items coming forward. We've seen a cruiser, more signboards. Kristen just added signboards that she is attempting to get a 50% match for through a grant. So that'll be part of the speed program, stop speeding program.
They were active when I was coming up here.
Oh, good.
This week. They had someone pull them.
Yes, they've been very active in the last, every time I leave, it seems like they have somebody pulled over. I know, I've got to be extra careful. And Kristen has shared the news about the new Officer Charlie at Town Hall, which has been making, creating smiles on people's faces, which is, we can thoroughly, we've been in need of cheering up around here, so that's much appreciated.
I worked with an employer that had 2 dogs that he'd bring his hunting dogs to work, and we all got them. It does that for a lower stress work environment. Good. Yeah, good. I'm glad.
That's all I have.
That's it. Did you have anything else, Eric?
No, I don't
No?
think so. Just this FERC thing, just to go back that
Yep.
a second. So we were supposed to turn this form in by tomorrow, I guess, right? It looks like, right?
Yes, that Becky was gonna handle that.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I actually already printed it and now I just have to.
Oh, perfect.
go upstairs.
Okay, sounds
Does
good.
it need a signature?
No.
No, okay.
They just want the information.
All right, so if that's all we have left, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor?
Stalker eye.
Make peace O'Neill, aye. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everybody.